Ball Piper has made history in Georgetown.
Welcome into UIL Spotlight, where we're going to take a look at the boys soccer championship down in Georgetown on this here episode. I'm Greg Tepper alongside the Prince of the Pelota. It is Gavin Moritz, and another fantastic week down there in Georgetown with some high-flying action, and I would say some pretty high-octane performances from some of these programs.
Yeah, Tepper, I think it was one of the more electric weeks we've had in Georgetown in my time covering this event. And I also think, first and foremost, we had some really electric performances, like you said, both by the individual players and the teams that we'll get to here in a moment. Let's
first start with 4A Division I, where a pair of newcomers to the state championship stage, starting with the mighty Falcons of Lake Dallas, making their first appearance at the at the state tournament. And you see their path there through a very difficult Region 1. To get here and earn their way here with a 26-2 record, or rather an 11-6-6 record, thanks in large part to a peaking defense.
Yeah, their defense played really well throughout the duration of their postseason run. By district round, they got through Fort Worth Eastern Hills 1-0. Stephenville, they got through the Yellow Jackets 1-1. That one went into shootout, obviously. El Paso, Isleta 2-1. Decatur 4-3, and then Palestine 2-1 in the state semifinals to get them to Georgetown. And then, Tepper, you look at the flip side for Waco La Vega there out of that Belmead district of the town of Waco. LaGrange 7-2 in the bi-district round.
26-2 is the Pirates' mark as they head into Georgetown, and a high-flying offense. Both teams looking for their first state championship in their first trip to Georgetown. Let's go to the action down there. Our Baylor Scott and White Health highlights here. And early on, it was a real taffy pull, as you might say.
Yeah, I mean, first ever tournament appearance for both these programs in a weekend of parity, like we'll talk about for this sport. Shots, they were tied 8-8. Waco La Vega led shots on goal 4-2. 6 fouls apiece, worth noting. 4 corners apiece, that was tied as well. But it was Waco La Vega's Angel Cervantes Cavillo finding the bottom right corner of the goal off the assist from Devani Morales in the 43rd minute, which would propel the Pirates from Belmead in the Waco area to the historic championship win, their first ever in program history.
It was a remarkable victory there for La Vega, well earned, as they were able to bring home their first ever state championship. And we caught up with the MVP himself, Angel Cervantes Calvillo.
I couldn't have done this without my team, you know. It's all with my team, not just me. And I'm really proud of myself as well. Didn't think I'll make it this far, and yeah, it's amazing.
And congratulations to the Pirates of La Vega, the 4A Division I state championship, the first title in program history. On to 4A Division II, where a battle of powerhouses down there in Georgetown as Bridgeport took on Brookshire Royal. Let's take a look at the Bulls of Bridgeport and their path here. You can see absolute dominance on their path to Georgetown.
Yeah, these are two programs in Bridgeport and Brookshire Royal that are no stranger to high-powered offenses, especially getting through Amarillo Randall 4-1, San Elizario 5-0, Ferris 2-0, Brownwood 3-0. In the state semifinals, Bridgeport, the Bulls got through Dallas Pinkston 3-1 to advance to Birkelbach Field.
Bridgeport, riding an 11-match winning streak entering play here, taking on a Brookshire Royal ball club that came in 28-1-1. And yeah, if you hang 11 goals on a team, I would say that you are a danger to go all the way as they did in their opener against Houston Worthing. And so it was the first ever tournament appearance for Brookshire Royal, while Bridgeport making their third appearance and their second consecutive. But of course, we've been talking about electric atmospheres down there in Georgetown. This was a game, Gavin, that was delayed by lightning.
Yeah, this is one that took a while to start, but once it got started, boy howdy, was this one electric. 22-6, Bridgeport led with shots. After that lightning delay, shots on goal, Bridgeport led 8-5. The Falcons of Royal, we get the scoring started just about as quick as you can. Jerson Perez found the back of the net 25 seconds into the match. 25 seconds into the match, Tepper. Bridgeport will respond in the 18th minute with Jared Contreras, who we are nowhere near done talking about, by the way. Jerson Perez would then get his second goal before the half for Royal, but from there it would be all Bridgeport. Xavier Garza would have the equalizer in the 46th minute, eventually taking us to overtime, where then Bridgeport would really go on their run.
Bridgeport hangs 3 goals in overtime. I had to check with you before we came on the air. I was like, wait a second, 5-2 in overtime, but sure enough, Bridgeport hit the gas in the overtime period, especially Jared Contreras there getting another goal there as well from Xavier Garza in the 96th minute. As they bring home their first ever 5A Division II crown. And you take a look at what Jared Contreras was able to do. I mean, 5 shots on goal and hitting pay dirt 3 times. One of the most outstanding performances we saw in the entire weekend there in Georgetown.
Yeah, Jared Contreras with the hat trick. 8 shots, 5 shots on goal, 3 goals, 2 of those coming in overtime to really help put this one away against a very talented Brookshire Royal squad. And Bridgeport gets it done in large part due to Jared Contreras.
Snapping Royals' 17-match winning streak along the way. Congratulations to the Bulls of Bridgeport, your 2026 4A Division II boys soccer champions. We are just getting started here on UIL Spotlight. We're going to take a quick break, but after the break, let's take a look at the 5A boys state championships. Keep it where
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antone. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Well, this doesn't look like finding your zen.
Tell me about it.
Shh. Let's get those allergies under control. No talking needed. There you go. You'll be breathing easier in no time. Take back the day. Same care you know and love, available the same day.
UIL Spotlight is brought to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, Baylor Scott & White Health, and your Texas Ford dealers.
Welcome back, UIL Spotlight. I'm Greg Tepper. That is Gavin Moritz. We're taking a look at the 2026 UIL Boys State Soccer Championships down there in Georgetown. And let's move to 5A Division I. I think one of the most anticipated games of the weekend, as Prosper Walnut Grove rolled into Georgetown undefeated. That's right, you heard undefeated. A perfect 30-0 entering this match. And you can see the dominance that they've had throughout. They had the one scare against Dallas Adams there in the regional final, but this has been a team that has looked like the very best team in 5A Division I for quite some time.
Yeah, and that's not even just this season, Tepper. That's dating back the last couple of years. We'll touch on that later on. But Prosper Walnut Grove, their playoff run wasn't quite as dominant as you may expect for a team that's 30-0 and won the undefeated state title last year. But they did get through some tough opponents in Lufkin and Frisco Heritage and Midlothian, and the close call, like you mentioned, against Dallas Adams. And then in the state semis, El Paso Americas dropping the Trailblazers 1-0.
DFW then taking on the squad from the Brazos Valley. College Station making their first ever tournament appearance there as they run into Georgetown with a 16-7-4 mark and looked like they were playing their very best soccer as the season wore on and peaked in the playoffs. And so it's the first tournament appearance for College Station, while Walnut Grove seeking its second consecutive undefeated state championship. Let's take a look at the highlights, and there's really no way to put it other than this was a dominant performance from Walnut Grove.
Yeah, Walnut Grove led with shots credited by the UIL here, their statistics, 8-0 in terms of shots. They didn't even get a shot off, did the College Station Cougars. So, of course, the Wildcats led shot on goal 3-0, 23 combined fouls, bit of a chippy one. Walnut Grove led in corner 7-2. Isaac Mara would get the scoring started in the 32nd minute, driving it into the bottom right of the netting off his right foot, and not to mention he followed it up with a nasty backflip celebration that I really enjoyed. And then in 2 minutes into the second half, Mason Kutch would put this one out of reach for College Station, finding the bottom left of the goal as Walnut Grove their winning streak would continue with another unbeaten state title for the second year in a row. They've not lost, Tepper, since when?
Since 2024. They also avenged the Walnut Grove girls who had lost the state championship game in the game immediately prior to that. One of the stars was Mason Kutch. He was the MVP and caught up with us after the ball game.
We went back-to-back, so it's just amazing, surreal. A lot of us came from JV, a lot of them came from JV. We had 3 varsity starters that came back. So, I mean, we did it. We won it again with another team, so it's amazing.
Congratulations to Walnut Grove, your back-to-back 5A Division I boys soccer champions. To 5A Division II we go, where it was DFW versus San Antonio as Kamal Piper took on Frisco Wakeland. Take a look at the Wolverines of Wakeland here, a team that entered this the state championship 26-1-1, had been absolutely fantastic, back into the state soccer championship for the 10th time since 2010.
Yeah, the Wolverines of Wakeland, led by Andy Holt, have become one of the premier programs in Texas boys soccer. And then meanwhile, Tepper, on the other side, you've got the upstart Piper Warriors making their inaugural trip to Georgetown. But their playoff run, the last couple of matches against Liberty Hill and Austin Lassa weren't the easiest you've seen. Obviously, those both went into shootouts 1-1 going into extra time. But before that, they really breezed through Cedar Park, San Antonio Southside, and La Jolla Juarez Lincoln. Battle-tested ball club are the Warriors of Piper, taking on the powerhouse from DFW Frisco Wakeland. Let's go to the Baylor Scott and White Health highlights here. And this was a game in which Wakeland dominated largely but could never break through. Instead, it was Piper who was able to find the breakthrough. Yeah, Wakeland really dominated, like you said, 14-4 in shots. They also led shots on goal 10-3, but could never find the back of the net. And this one would be a highly defensive contest until that 72nd minute when Jack Blaish would find the back of the net for a late championship sealing goal in the rain, mind you, for Piper off the assist from Jackson Blankenship. I was also, to mention there, super impressed with Piper's keeper Nolan Masker, who went the full 80, 10 saves against a very aggressive front from Frisco Wakeland, and allowing his offense to really put the match away with that lone goal in that 72nd minute there. The Piper Warriors, your 5A Division II state champions. The MVP is that goalkeeper, Nolan Master. He caught up with our crew after this.
Couldn't have done it without this amazing team, this family. Couldn't have done it without all of them. Couldn't have done it without God and God in our team and everybody around me.
The Piper Warriors, your 2026 5A Division II boys soccer champions. Let's take another break here on UIL Spotlight, but afterwards we get to the big boys, Class 6A soccer championships after this.
UIL Spotlight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers.
I've seen a lot of Texas out on the open road, from up in Amarillo down to San Antonio. No matter where I travel, one thing remains the same. Everybody loves Ford here in the Lone Star State. Ford is the best in Texas.
Well, this doesn't look like finding your zen.
Tell me about it.
Shh. Let's get those allergies under control. No talking needed. There you go. You'll be breathing easier in no time. Take back the day. Same care you know and love, available the same day.
Whatever it is you wrangle, whatever seeds you sow, no matter what you nurture or what you choose to grow, at Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, we're proud to protect all Texans.
UIL Spotlight is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers, Texas Farm Bureau Insurance, and Baylor Scott and White Health.
We're back here on the 2026 UIL Boys Soccer State Championship Recap Show. And up next, Tepper, it's the big boys. We're going to talk about 6A Division I, Klein Cain taking on Atascocita. And Tepper, Klein Cain trying to go back-to-back.
Yeah, Klein Cain has been absolutely fantastic. 18-3-5 entering the state tournament here. You see some dominant performances, especially in that area round over Conroe. Looking to go back-to-back in 6A Division I. But I noticed that you did the intro here. Is there any particular reason why?
Not that I can think of.
Perhaps it's the Atascocita Eagles heading to the state championship bout. It's an all-Houston affair, but you can see how dominant they were. One of the most outstanding offensive performances in all of Texas high school soccer here. And your Atascocita Eagles making it to Georgetown. Pretty exciting for little old Atascocita.
Yeah, first time ever, and they had their hands full with Klein Cain. Let's go to the highlights brought to you by Baylor Scott and White Health. As in this one, Klein Cain looked to go back-to-back. Atascocita led in shots 6-4, shots on goal 3-3. They were even there. 30 combined fouls. This one of the chippier ones we've seen. A couple of red cards in there too, which we'll get to that later. The 5-3, the Eagles of Atascocita would lead in terms of corners. But this one would be another highly defensive contest heading into the 74th minute of regulation, when a red card issued against Atascocita would set up Noah Ballard, who became an instant hero for the Hurricanes with a free kick, which he would drive into the back of the net, giving Klein Cain back-to-back titles. The celebration there from Noah Ballard. He had every reason, Tepper, to celebrate.
Klein Cain goes back-to-back, a 1-0 victory over Atascocita in an all-Houston affair. The Hurricanes stay on top, and Noah Ballard was the man of the hour.
I mean, I can't even put into words how grateful I am to play with each and every one of these people. You know, I don't even think I'll remember all the memories that I have with them, just because it's so much, and it's just such a good group of guys, and they never stop. So, you know, that game was just all grit. You know, they had chances, but I knew if we got one, we were going to execute. And I can't thank my teammates enough for believing in me, and God put me in that position and just gave me the composure. I knew that all I had to do was put it where he couldn't get it.
So Klein Cain goes back-to-back as 6A Division I state champ. Congratulations to them. Are you okay?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
I just, I'm concerned about you as your friend and your colleague, but I'm glad that you're taking this okay. Congratulations to Klein Cain.
I appreciate your concern, though.
Agree. One last soccer match of the year down there in Georgetown, 6A Division II, where the Woodlands College Park roared into Georgetown with an 18-3-3 mark. This was a team looking for their first ever title in their first title appearance since 2019. A dominant performance on the way to Georgetown, where they would take on another team from the greater Houston area, Humble Summer Creek. Humble ISD stand up. Absolutely terrific were the Bulldogs of Summer Creek, 21-2-6. Entering here, looking in the as Summer Creek makes their first trip to Georgetown in program history. Let's go to the highlights of what was, I think, maybe the game of the weekend here as College Park took on Summer Creek.
Yeah, certainly. They were really, even in terms of shots, 6-6, 3-3 shots on goal. Summer Creek, though, led in terms of corners, 6-2, which I found interesting. They got quite a few opportunities there on those corner kicks. Scoreless until the 35th minute. Summer Creek's Christian Triana would put the Bulldogs ahead 1-0 off the assist from Javier Barahona. However, in the 48th minute, College Park's Salem Sheriff with the equalizer into the bottom left of the goal, which would carry us all the way through OT into Tepper.
Shootouts. as we get to the exhibition here, you'll be able to see the equalizer. This would, in fact, go to a shootout here, as this would be a back and forth affair. This is one of the again, the final match there here, but in shootout started both squads started 3 for 3, but in Summer Creek missed its fourth, setting up Nolan Eisler and Lincoln Wilson for the championship, sealing PK, and the Cavs win their first ever championship. And the hero, the MVP, Salem Sharif, caught up with our camera.
In August, I mean, we just wanted to prove something. I mean, the last 3 years we made round 3, and we knew we could have went further. And I mean, this year we just proved to everyone that we could. We're just College Park, and we could win. We could win things.
College Park wins the 6A Division II state championship down there in Georgetown. Congratulations to them. Let's talk a little bit about overall what we saw down there in Georgetown. I thought it was a terrific week of games. Weather certainly had its hand in things, but overall a really impressive performance. I thought the Houston area showed out in a big way. You had a number of first-time state champions as well. A fun year, I think, dominated by parity in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we had 6 champions, obviously, between 4AD2, 4AD1, 5AD1, 5AD2, and then the 6A classifications. Of those 6 champions, 4 were first-time champions. You only had 2 teams that have won before. So I think there's a lot of parity in this tournament. I think aside from the weather, which we have no control over,
we can't.
One of the most exciting weeks we've had in Georgetown, both between the boys and the girls, and quite the 2026 UIL soccer season there for the UIL.
It was a terrific way to wrap up soccer season here in UIL play in 2026. And we appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. For Gavin Moritz and our producer, Blaine Tatum, I'm Greg Tepper. We'll see you next time on UIL Spotlight.